No.
Still don't know my worth, still stressing perfection. Let you all in my mental, got me looking too desperate. Damn, you ain't deserve. Time. If I say I hate you, I mean it. If I say I love you, I mean it. If I say I hate you, I mean it. If I say
Guys, for not coming in earlier. Let me switch my Wi-Fi so that it doesn't cut off on me because it has a tendency to do that. Let me get that going, and I promise y'all we gonna get right into the show. I'm not gonna keep y'all long because I don't want to.
still don't know my worth, still stressing perfection. Let you all in my mental, got me looking too desperate. Damn, you ain't deserve.
All right, so I hope y'all enjoyed Clash at the Castle. It was a very interesting show. Honestly, I was pleasantly surprised with how they booked this show and where the matches were placed. I thought that they did a very, very good job of their match placement and making sure that they paced this show an awesome show. I promise you, if you missed it, you will have a really good time watching it in the replay, just watching it in general. I know sometimes social media can ruin that for some people, but I promise you, even if you just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, kind of turn off your phone and just watch the show, you will be thoroughly entertained with what the men and women of WWE were able to provide us today here on Clash at the Castle. I'm sorry, I had to give me something to drink. Y'all, when I tell y'all that they really kicked off Clash at the Castle with a banger, they definitely kicked off Clash at the Castle with a banger. But I'm not going to give nobody top commenter of the day today. I'm just going to say hi. So, hello to Tyreek. Hello, Kayla. Hello, that kid. How are you? If you're still in here, hello. Hello to Aaliyah. Nika, hello. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? So let's get it started. All right. Let us start off. I'm also streaming over on Twitter. So shout out to my Twitter folk who be keeping my numbers up. So I appreciate that. And I'm streaming over on Down for the Counts page as well because I want to keep up engagement over there. So if you decide to switch off and go to Down for the Count and give us a view or two, I would greatly appreciate it. You'll still get the same regular content that you get from me. No worries. But WWE, or rather Uncle Trip decided to give us a straw fell in my bottle. Hold on, y'all. Baby, I can't get my straw out. It's stuck. Okay. Uncle Trip decided to start the show off with the big match. Okay. He decided that he was going for Cody. And he decided he was going for Cody And I got it. AJ Styles right off the bat. He was like, we're going to get this out of the way. We is not going to hog this show up and clog this show up with Cody and AJ Styles. But I have to say this was the right move. This match actually was a lot of fun. It was a lot of energy right out the gate, and it was nasty. Okay, it was messy and it was nasty. Excuse me. Cody's mom got involved in the match. She was vicious out there, smacking AJ Styles as much as she could. They had the boys come in and was standing on their respective sides of the ring, but AJ Styles meant business this whole match, and Cody Rhodes got his ass whipped. Okay, he got his ass handed to him like a good old Southern Georgia boy would. Okay. He beat the brakes off of Cody Rhodes. Now, listen, I loves me some Cody. Okay, I do. Cody Rhodes, that's my boy. But Homelander, you're going to have to, I don't know what it is, but you're going to have to pull some of that evil nightmare shit out the wings and start utilizing it as a face. You got to, because motherfuckers be trying you too much. AJ Styles was in your mama's like he had just fucked her the night before, okay? He was in your mama face giving her all some grief, had her own little heart just a pumping extra blood. She was hollering and screaming, saying you was all talk, you ain't shit. You know, she slapped him. She ain't slap him good. Because had that been me, baby, I'd have slapped his ass as hard as I could, okay? But she was slapping his ass and taking him out, baby. They was out there fighting, honey, okay? And his mama was not willing to let Cody Rhodes go out without making sure that AJ Styles felt how she felt, okay? But in the end, Cody was the one who stood tall, bloodied, battered, and bruised. It took some handcuffs, a set of steel steps, and a fear of getting your lights turned out for AJ Styles to scream, I quit. He did it right when Cody grabbed the steel steps to take him out, and he screamed, I quit. And Cody Rhodes was the victor. And I have to say that this match was a hell of a lot of fun. It was brutal. It was bloody. And AJ Styles was vicious, but I feel like if they would have had more time, it would have been even worse if they had more time. But baby, that wasn't even the end, okay? That wasn't even the end, because while I'm gonna get to Alba and Isla in a second, so I'm sorry about putting them up there. But that wasn't even the end, because while we was all celebrating and enjoying Cody Rhodes' win, Solo decided to make his presence known against his current WWE champion as the new tribal chief. And Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa came out there and attacked Cody Rhodes and beat the brakes off him. Now you have to understand, okay? Cody had just got out of a brutal matchup with AJ Styles. And then after the match, he bust AJ Styles in the face with them steel steps, which I was like, period. But then he walking down the ramp, and I knew something was wrong because they didn't cut to commercial, and they usually do. Right when they get to that front, they usually cut to commercial and be like, okay, it's time to give y'all a little commercial. Then they give you a bunch of vignettes and commercials for like, maybe 10 minutes while they resetting for the next match, right? Well, they didn't do that. And all of a sudden, Solo come walking out there while Cody's at the back entrance. And I was like, oh, hell. You see these two facing off, and then that's when Tama and Tonga come out there and attack Cody. But his saving grace, how sweet the sound, came in Randy Orton's and Kevin Owens. Now, if my booking brain is working the way I think it's working, the way this should play out is that the Bloodline 2.0 is going up against Cody, Randall, and Kevin. That's going to be the running storyline from here on out. But when we get closer to Money in the Bank, more than likely at Money in the Bank or after, Randy Orton is going to turn on Cody and be Cody's first major opponent going into a big 4 pay-per-view, because that's the only thing that logically makes sense in my brain. Okay, so I need that to happen. You need that to happen for the sake of Cody's title reign, but not only that, but to just set him up in terms of where he needs to go as a champion, and because you need to pull the bloodline off of Cody again and allow the bloodline to be able to compete in whatever story they're going to have, whether it be Roman's return or The Rock's return or whatever the case may be. That needs to be separate from Cody Rhodes, and they're going to have to do that and then come back to it later when they possibly bring Cody and The Rock together for their potential feud later on down the line. So we gonna have to separate church and state, but still use them while you got them, if that makes sense. Okay. But that's just how my brain was working. You watch the PLE on TikTok? That's crazy. But anyways, let's move on to the next match. I'm probably not gonna do these in order, so forgive me if it's not in order. But if I recall, the next match was the women's tag team match, which I actually enjoyed. I thought the girls did great. Now, everybody's going to talk about Jade slipping off the top rope, but we've seen a lot of people slip off the top rope. AJ Styles has done it. Naomi have done it. Ricochet has done it. Even your precious Logan Paul. Like, everybody has a botch moment, okay? And this was one for for Jade. It was an accident. The rope is there. You're trying to steady yourself. Them ropes are not sturdy. So her slipping was not the biggest egregious thing in this match. There was some things that was a little off in terms of Isla not being completely set. They had to wait for her to get set, but when she didn't, they had to kind of push her into place. Other than that, the match itself was solid. Jade looked great. She sold like she was supposed to. She just had one slip up. It really wasn't that big of a deal, but it looked bad because the camera was on her and it was her moment and she slipped. Y'all can't make everything into a mountain just because it happens on TV. Because even your favorites, even the greats that we love and know, have had botched moments and bad moves. Even The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, y'all favorite Hulk Hogan, all of them. They've all done it. So let's relax, give Jay some grace, and proceed forward. Now, eventually, in this match, Isla and Alba was able to win in front of the Scotland crowd. And you know that these two girls are Scottish. Now, to the credit of Alba and Isla, okay, that Alba has been going through hell these last couple of weeks. Alba lost her mom. It's just been a very tumultuous last few weeks for her. But even outside of that, and I think outside of all of that has happened to her, I think the plan originally was for these two to win these titles in Scotland. And I'm fine with that. I think that you have a really good veteran in Alba Fire. She's still one of the longest reigning, if not the longest reigning women's champion for our modern era. She's one of the longest reigning, 600 plus days as the NXT UK women's champion. And Alba Fire is a former NXT women's tag team champion, and so is Isla Dawn. So these two are more than fit to carry on the torch of these tag team titles, and Bianca and Jade will be fine. They will bounce back. They always do, but they looked great. I loved their gear. Out of everybody that was there in this particular match, their gear was the best. Bianca's gear was fire. I loved her faux hawk braid. I loved Jade's look. It gave Game of Thrones, Queen of the Dragons. She was out there. She was living her best life. Her gear looked great. She looked great. They both looked absolutely stunning. But in the end, Scotland's Own was able to get those titles and get a win for the country. And I'm being honest, this was the only title change that happened on the show in Scotland's favor. And we're going to get into why that was the only one. But shout out to the girls for, not necessarily calming the show down, but keeping the momentum going, because it was a lot going on. But when they won, that really heightened the crowd as well. It gave them a lot of, a lot of oomph and a lot of push. And it also gave Alba and Isla the opportunity to celebrate in front of their family. They were given flowers and they were able to have a moment, which I'm very happy and proud of them. They did exceptionally well. I'm gonna be honest with you, baby. Zoe and Shayna didn't really do much in this match, not much that requires to have conversation about. And I'm kind of glad that they didn't win. They need to bust them up so they can go their separate ways. If I was them, I'd move Zoe's ass over to SmackDown, let Shayna stay on Raw, and let Shayna be somebody that Liv Morgan can feud with later down the road, but let Shayna be the aggressor so that Liv is on the defense and not on offense, if that makes sense. All right, let's move into the next match, child, because this one got people together. Okay, this one got people together. It definitely did. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to burp. So please excuse me. Hold tight. I'm going to take a quick break. Just for 5 seconds, and I shall return, y'all. Give me 5.
Still don't know my words, still stressing perfection. Let you all in my mental, got me looking too desperate. Damn, you ain't desired.
I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't want to burp in y'all ear because that's rude, okay? But anyways, let's get into Perk Gable and him being what, 0 for 3 now? 3-4. He lost to Gunther. I think he lost to Gunther twice. He done lost to Sammy twice now. He 0 for 4, baby. Now, Samuel went out there with intent to go out there and wrestle Gable with integrity, and he did. He definitely did that. But, baby, can you give me my glasses? Because I can't see. They right there, the green ones. You okay? Mm-hmm. There we go. All right, now we cooking with grease, child, because I'm getting old. I couldn't see nothing, Jerry. Everything was blurry. Anyway, y'all, this was probably one of my favorite matches of the night. Okay, let me see if I got the right picture. No, that's a Piper in them. All right, because I couldn't see word for damn, y'all. I couldn't see nothing. Now, Sammy came out there, and he was very strong-willed about this match. And basically, these boys fought it out. Now, Chad was on the offense and defense for this entire match. He was giving Sammy all the blues. There was an answer for everything that Sammy was putting down. And even Sami Zayn was having a hard time keeping up with Gable. And it was clear in how this match was structured. Gable's biggest problem was not the fact that he couldn't keep up with Sami Zayn or that he can't beat him, but he's so obsessed with being champion that he cannot focus on the match itself. He has to try to cheat and he needs help. And that is where he messed up. This is where his biggest issue came in, is him constantly trying to go with Otis and Maxine to help him win. Give Papa some tissue. And that was the biggest issue for him. For the most part, he had Sammy down. The only problem is Sammy wouldn't stay down. So because of that, Gable got extremely frustrated and angry and decided to start going off, honey. And he was trying to use Maxine and Otis to win. First, it was Maxine. He gets out the ring, he grabs the title, he gives it to Maxine. The plan was for him to distract the referee, throw Sammy into the ropes, distract the ref, and then Maxine hit him with the belt. But she couldn't do it. Gable got upset and was chastising her on the ring. And as Sammy was about to hit the haluva kick, he almost haluva kicked Maxine in the face. Sammy was able to stop, and Maxine was able to avoid getting hurt in that manner. He did the same thing with Otis. He wanted Otis to attack Sammy, but Otis wouldn't do it. And then he and Gable got into it on the outside of the ring while he had Sammy locked up into a leg lock. Otis was trying to tend to Maxine was trying to tend to Otis. She was going over to Otis. I believe that's how it went. She was standing there next to him because Otis was distraught. He was very confused, or more specifically, he was very torn between doing what Gable wanted and actually being a friend to Sammy. He didn't know how to move in that. So Maxine was comforting him. And in that comfort, Sammy was able to counter his ankle lock, and Gable ended up chop blocking Maxine in the leg. That pissed Otis off. Okay. And this was all of this happened on the outside of the ring. Now, the referee gave him a lot of grace, because had this had been back on the Monday Night Raw, they probably would have been counted out, if that makes sense. But anyways, y'all, Gable and Otis was going at each other, Otis got in Gable's face because, of course, he was going at Maxine. This was before she got chop blocked. Now, to be fair, the chop block was an accident, but Otis didn't care. Once he saw that Maxine was in pain, he was enraged. Okay? Now, eventually, this all led back to the mat, and Otis decided he wasn't going to stick around and leave Maxine, because Otis was getting ready to take Gable out, but Maxine pleaded with him not to do anything, and she was in severe pain. So Otis grabbed Maxine and was taking her backstage. This whole time, Gable's in the ring, not paying attention to Sammy, only paying attention to Otis and Maxine walking away from him. This cost him his match. Focusing on these two instead of focusing on the task at hand, which is beating Sammy down and keeping him down, he ended up costing himself the Intercontinental Championship with his own obsession and bullshit. It cost him the opportunity to finally be a singles champ. He did it to himself. He was in the ring seething. And Sami Zayn made a gesture that basically was like, it's over. We're finished. We're done. And at this point, I'm just glad that it's over. Okay? I'm just glad that it's over. We're moving on to the final throws, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Piper and Bayley's match was interesting because even though Scotland missed the chance for that "you suck" chant for Gable, give him the full perk treatment. Well, they are here in the States. They do it in the States, but I don't know. Maybe Scotland's just not. They wasn't really pressed about it, which, to be fair, I don't really blame them. But anywhoosies, Piper and Bayley's match was very, very interesting. Okay. Piper got the hometown heroes treatment, true enough, but Bayley didn't really get much of a reaction at all. Usually they either will boo the person that they don't really care about, that they don't want their hometown hero to go up against. Usually they will boo, but that's not what happened here with Bayley. Bayley coming out there, it was deafening silence in the beginning. She didn't really get much of a reaction from the crowd until she, came out there, and certain people were looking for her, autograph. Certain people wanted to, her to, give them a little tap on the hand or whatever, a little high five, a little hand slap or whatever. That was it. For the most part, it was really quiet in there when she came out there, which I was like, damn, y'all could give her a little bit of a reaction. Y'all could give her something, but there wasn't much. Now, Piper put on a good show against her. I thought Piper looked great. I thought she did amazing things in the ring. The only thing I didn't like about their match was Chelsea. While I love Chelsea and I think Chelsea is funny and interested, this was an unnecessary piece that was added to the match that I felt like didn't really give Piper the legitimacy that she deserved to have in this match. This made the match more comical on that side. It wasn't really comical in the match at all. And given the fact that Piper has been drilling it in people's head that she's a danger and that she can be a dangerous threat to any championship, Chelsea didn't help in that factor. And I really wish that she would have been barred from ringside so Piper could shine. Win, lose, or draw, Piper should have been the focus, and having Chelsea out there was a major distraction, in my opinion. Now, the fans they liked it in terms of being able to, wish Chelsea off because Chelsea ended up getting removed from the match. She then went and got a Mysterio mask, which was interesting, and came back out there trying to cause a distraction, which she did because Bayley ended up getting a pin that actually would have ended the match earlier. But Chelsea came out there to thwart that, and that's what caused a massive distraction on that front. But ultimately, despite Piper's, tenacity and her ability to keep up, and not only that, but keep Bayley down, Chelsea was not the victor in this match. I mean, Piper wasn't the victor in this match. Bayley was. Bayley retained her championship against a formidable opponent in Piper, and it was a somber moment for Piper. Piper was in front of all her friends and family. She was wrestling in her home country. So for her to lose this way, it kind of hurt, but everybody has their moment. Because I know every time Bayley goes home to her hometown, she loses. They don't give Bayley no wins in her hometown, okay? I think as long as Bayley has been on the main roster, the only time she's ever won as a champion or any of that is when she was a heel. And even then, that's a rarity. Like, usually when Bayley go home, she lose every damn time. So, am I mad at it? No. Did I expect it? Yes. I'm kind of sad for Piper because I love Piper and I know exactly what Piper is capable of. So I can't wait to see if they just take this and let her go ahead into Money in the Bank, which is what I would do, because you need a formidable big person in Money in the Bank that can move with the agility of a high flyer, but has the power and brawn, obviously, of a more technical ground and pound style wrestler. So I would put her Money in the Bank and let her run roughshod. Anywhoosies, let's move into the final match of the night, and it is Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. I warned y'all that some mystery meat bullshit was going to happen in this match, okay? I told you. I couldn't quite pinpoint how it was going to happen because I expected Drew McIntyre to win. But they went the long haul. They went the way that I called it originally, which was to have Drew lose to Damian Priest and make it specifically be CM Punk's fault as to why he lost. But let's just get into it. Drew McIntyre was definitely the hometown hero. He had the bagpipes, the Scotland what they call them, marching band. He had that. He had everything going for him. But there's a telltale that Triple H and them do when it comes to these types of matches that really gives you an idea as to what's going to happen in the end. You see, every time they do full-on video spots and full-on sessions with these superstars and give them a lot of TV time before they even go into the match, 96% of the time they're losing. They're not winning in that match. I can because they did it with Piper. They did it with Drew. Drew was seen so much this weekend. Like, Drew was everywhere. Drew was all over WWE social media. He was all over their broadcast channel that they have for Instagram and for Messenger. He was all over their Twitter, their TikTok. He took over their TikTok, if I recall. He was everywhere. And then on the Peacock Network, as you watched the countdown to Clash at the Castle, he had an interview with Kathy Kelly. They split that up over the course of the time of the kickoff show. They had him backstage, like they had him everywhere. He was everywhere. And it was just too much. It was just too much. And I was like, oh no, he is losing. He is losing. And it was quite the doozy. Okay. The boys was in there fighting. Okay. It wasn't like Damian Priest just, got a nod from CM Punk in this match, which he definitely did. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But he definitely was defending and fighting, but there was a twist and tide in this match. When Damian got hung up on these ropes by his foot, that changed the trajectory of this match, and it gave Drew a bit of an edge. However, this weakened Damian a bit. Damian's biggest source of strength is in his arms, but it also is in his agility. And you take that from him, and you got a lot going on. Drew McIntyre was able to Claymore kick Damian Priest through the barricade, and from what I heard, it was pretty fucking gnarly. But like I said, the boys was in there fighting. Now the referee ended up getting knocked out. The ref got knocked out, and it was an accident. It was just a par for the course. He ended up getting knocked out. So they needed a new ref. They needed a new ref to come in, and lo and behold, that referee was none other than CM Punk. Now, if you go on my socials, and of course on WWE socials, you can see how this all happened. CM Punk was standing backstage at Clash at the Castle, watching this match and waiting for the right opportunity. When he saw that the ref was getting knocked out or possibly being knocked out, he went to Jess, the referee, and asked her for a shirt. Instead of giving the one off her back, she gave him a new one. And then he ran out there. She says, "What do you need the shirt for?" He was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll bring it back." She was like, "Okay, fine." And all of a sudden, CM Punk shows out there to count, but he only makes it a 2 count. Now, CM Punk, he wasn't happy about that. I mean, Drew wasn't happy about that. Drew was pissed, and he knew that CM Punk was costing him his opportunity. So he went on the attack. And CM Punk, he gave him his 2-piece and 2 blue balls because he straight up low blowed him right in the balls. He dropped to his knees in his face, and well, it was murder she wrote, because Damian Priest was none the wiser that he was out there, and Drew McIntyre was left soaking on the side of that ring, and I know he is going to be stewing on Monday, okay? Damian Priest was able to get the pin and win, and CM Punk left Glasgow pissed. The people were upset, honey, flipping him off. You see in the video, they flip. You see here in the picture, they were flipping him off. Them birds was right next to CM Punk's face, baby.
That was happy.
There was some that was happy. There was some people that were obviously CM Punk fans and excited that he was there. But it was a lot of people that were angry and in their feelings. And baby, they were right there with Drew because Drew was seething. And I can just about imagine how he is going to be on Monday night when all of this shit finally unfolds. But Damian Priest is still your champ. He is still champion. Now, me personally, I did predict that this was one of the ways that this was going to go. However, the other way I predicted was for CM Punk to attack Drew after he won at Clash at the Castle. And then when Drew dropped it at SummerSlam, that's the way it would go. But it seems like they need to have a lot going while they're fighting heading into SummerSlam, because I feel like CM Punk and Drew are going to meet at Money in the Bank, but it's not going to be over. They're going to fight again at SummerSlam, and it's just going to be a bunch of mess. Overall, I love the show. I thought the show was interesting. I thought that it was fun to watch. They did do the the press conference afterwards, and there was a funny moment before the big match came. When they did the press conference, they showed everything, and they got Alba Fire looking real. She looked evil as hell on this picture. But anyway, they talked about how they was going to have everybody, you know, talking about Clash at the Castle and the press conference and everybody that was going to be there. And Corey Grace was on the the infographic, and he was like, what? And Michael was like, I thought we was going to be able to catch the flight and go home together, but it looked like I'm going to be on the flight by myself. And Corey was like, I didn't even know I was on a damn I didn't even know I was supposed to be back there. He said, when was this? Who told y'all that I was going to be the one? Baby, they was upset, honey. Corey was mad. And he was like, well, you know, thanks, Corey, for, you know, taking one for the team. He was like, I took one for the team last night. You're the reason why I was late last night. I was like, damn, y'all just be doing Corey dirty, huh?
Yeah.
But it seemed like they've been having a really good time in Glasgow, Scotland. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all. Okay. Now, I don't know exactly what Drew did on backstage and flipping out on air. I don't know about that. I didn't get to see it. So once I see it, I'll repost it and everything. But y'all be easy. All right. Tomorrow is Father's Day. If you are a father, happy Father's Day. If you have a father and you need to wish him happy Father's Day, please do. Okay. Even those who have gone on to glory deserve to be celebrated when they are good fathers. If you ain't got no daddy or your daddy ain't shit, celebrate those who helped you become the man or woman that you are today, including your mama if she was a single mother, your grandmother, your aunties, your uncles, your collected fathers and mothers, whoever was in your life that helped you become a good person and they happen to be great. You can celebrate them on Father's Day. Okay, don't celebrate those who didn't help you get to where you need to be. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you on Monday after Raw because, baby, Monday's about to be a mess. Next Friday is going to be a mess. But before I get out of here, we have finally put Clash in the Castle in the books. But there is something new that's on the horizon, as it always is. We never stop going. We just keep on rolling when it comes to WWE. They don't give us no breaks. Monday is the qualifier for the Money in the Bank. And they got it set up like on some Carmen Sandiego type shit. I like this kind of mess, WWE. This is cute. So, Money in the Bank is set to be in Toronto, Canada. So it looks like they're going with the, you know, the stolen, you know, the thievery theme. But Money in the Bank is supposed to be Saturday, July 6th. And you know, there's a whole schedule for that weekend. We've got SmackDown on that Friday on the 5th. Saturday is the 6th, and that's Money in the Bank. And that Sunday is NXT Heatwave. Now, we got a lot going on next week. The qualifier matches start for Money in the Bank next week. We also are going to see the 25-man battle royal for NXT. That is something that I need everybody who is within earshot of my voice to go watch, because you're going to miss a bunch of people that might pop up in that battle royal. They have access to WWE. WWE has access to all of TNA's roster. And there may be some other people who pop up, because you know WWE don't even have 25 men in NXT. Not at the caliber of being able to challenge Trick Williams to be able to have a full 25 battle royal, okay? So we got to keep our eyes open and watch that, because that's going to be very, very interesting. With all that being said, Friday for SmackDown is also going to have Money in the Bank qualifying matches, but we also will have the fallout of Clash at the Castle, with Solo going after Cody Rhodes and Kevin and Randy coming to his aid. We probably will see a lot of 6-man tag team, a lot of just tumultuous bullshit happening with the new bloodline and Cody Rhodes and his new crew that he's rolling with. Also on Monday, we're going to see the fallout of Drew McIntyre being screwed over by CM Punk, which I told y'all should suspect, but if you didn't, that's your business. We also going to see how Liv Morgan and Dom Dom are faring and how they're going to play this out, okay? Because we got a lot to flush out, especially when we are getting closer and closer to SummerSlam. We're going to be about a month out. We're about 2 months out from SummerSlam at the moment. So they got a lot of work to do with Liv Morgan. All right. And she definitely has to defend that title at Money in the Bank. So whoever her next opponent is going to be, it's going to be very interesting. All right. But we got a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are your new women's tag team champions. So they probably will feature prominently on Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso has made it very clear that he is going to be in the qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. And more than likely, he will qualify and be one of the 6 or 8, depending on how many slots they decide to have for this year's Money in the Bank, to be Mr. Money in the Bank. So, and you know he's a fan favorite, but I don't think Jey Uso is going to win this one. But we'll talk about that later. So I'll see you guys on Monday, and we'll talk more about Money in the Bank as we see who has qualified for the show. With all that being said, thank you so much for coming over here. I appreciate you. I love you very much, okay? If nobody tell you they love you today, I will tell you that I love you, okay? Happy Pride Month to all my fellow LGBTQIA plus people in this chat and everybody that's following me on my socials. Happy Pride Month to y'all. I hope you enjoy your Pride. Please do not forget to go over to Down for the Count. We have our Spotify podcast is up right now where we just went over the shows and we talked about WWE and TNA's crossover. If you missed TNA's Against All Odds, it was a pretty decent show, fairly predictable, but pretty decent. I will say that it was fun to watch, but again, it was very predictable. If you haven't signed up for TNA Plus, please do. You can get it for half off. I still think I remember the code. I think the code is Try Us for TNA. So it'll be $4.99 for the first month or two, and then it'll go back up to $9.99. Okay. With all that being said, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a good night. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you haven't seen Clash at the Castle yet, please go watch it because you're missing out on a really good time. Love you guys. I'll see you next time.